Hello and welcome to 11.5, buying a home with a mortgage. Home, they say, is one of the most important investments and the biggest investment you're going to make. I'd say your education is also probably a big one as well. Buying a home. Homeowner's mortgage, a long-term loan in which the property is pledged as security for payment of the difference between the down payments and the sale price. Two types of loans: adjustable rate loan, variable rate, or conventional loan. You can still get both of these. In the conventional loan, the interest is a fixed rate. Right now, it depends on your credit, could be anywhere from 4%, 4.5%, 3.9%. It's really low right now. We'll see how things change. Adjustable rate, the interest rate may change every period as specified by the loan. So there'll be a fixed amount, and it can go up or go down like one or two times. I think it's usually one time a year it can adjust up or down. It could be two times a year. And there's a max it can adjust up or down. Points, 1% of the mortgage money. Points help to lower the rate. Closing is the final step in the sale process. So example 1. Sandra Coleman's family is purchasing their first home, which is selling for $95,000. The credit union is requiring a minimum down payment of 5%. Back in the mid-2000s, 5%, you can get them for 0%. Now a lot of them are going up back up to 20%. Anyway, the current mortgage is 7% interest rate. It's kind of high. Determine the amount required for the down payments. So for A, it's going to be 0.05 times 95,000. And that's going to be $47.50. Determine the monthly mortgage payment for a 30-year loan with minimum down payment. Okay, so that's going to be $95,000 minus the $47.50, and that's going to be $90,250. So if we look at the number of hundreds borrowed, that's going to be, or actually we have a different chart. Let me go to the next page for that. $90,250 divided by 1,000 is going to be 90.250, the amount per thousand. So let's look at this in the charts. It's a 7% 30-year loan. Here's our table. 7% for 30 years, 6.65302. 6.65302. So we're looking at 6.65 times 90,250 .250, and we get $600.16. So that's using the table to compute your payment. Adjusted monthly gross income, or monthly income, is the gross income minus any fixed monthly payments with more than 10 months remaining. Loan officers multiply this by 28% to get the maximum monthly payment the borrower can afford. So here's the chart we just used. But again, as I mentioned from the last section from 11.4, they put this formula in here, which I was really thankful they did, because this formula can be used, I think, a little bit it's better use of this formula to find your payment, monthly payment. Again, the amount you're borrowing, the rate over the number of times a year, 1 minus 1 plus the rate over a number of times a year, to the power negative nt, where t is the total number of times in the year. John and Susie Smith's monthly income is $4,100. They have 18 remaining boat payments of $505. The Smiths are applying for a 20-year, $275,000 mortgage at 9% interest to buy a new house. Taxes and insurance on the house are $425 per month. To determine the Smiths' adjusted monthly income, so for A, they have $4,100 a month minus the $505 a month on their boat. is $3,595. So B, determine the maximum monthly payment a lender feels the Smiths can afford. That's going to be 0.28 times the $3,595, or $1,006.60. So for C, determine the monthly mortgage payment plus taxes and insurance. So in this, our P is $275,000. If you want to go back and use the chart, feel free to. And that's the mortgage amount, that's not the purchase amount necessarily. R is 9%, which is 0.09. N is 12, and T equals 20 years. So the monthly payment's going to be $275,000 times 0.09 divided by 12 over 1 minus 1 plus 0.09 over 12 to the negative, I'm doing this in parentheses now, 12 times 20 power. Put this in a calculator, you're going to come up with $2,474.25 per month. That's the payment. If you take that $2,474.25 and add on to that the $425 per month taxes and insurance, you have to pay property taxes and you have to have homeowners insurance when you have a loan. That brings it up to $2,899.25. So last question, do they qualify? Well, heck no. Even without the taxes and insurance, their payments over double for how much they qualify. So the answer for D is no. They do not qualify. I'm going to move this up in a second, so feel free to pause if you want some more time. Mr. and Mrs. Allen Bell obtained a 25-year, $110,000 conventional mortgage at 10.5% on a house selling for $160,000. Their monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, is $1,038.40. Determine the total amount of the Bells to pay for their house. So for A, it's 25 years times 12 times a year times $1,038.40. That puts the total of the payments to be, plus their down payment. To be, $50,000. 160 minus 110 is 50,000. That's going to be $361,520. So this right here is total of payments. This right here is down payment. So for the house that they purchased for $160,000, they're spending over double that with all the interest. B, how much of the costs will be interest? So that's going to be 25 times 12 times 1,038.40 minus the $110,000 that they borrowed. That gives us the amount $201,520. So this one did not add into the down payment. This is the total of all the payments minus what they borrowed. They're paying interest of $201,520. For C, how much of the first payment on the mortgage is applied to the principal? Well, let's take a look at that. The interest is going to be $110,000, amount they're borrowing, times, it's 10.5%. That's a huge interest rate. 0.105 times 1 over 12. That gives the first payment, the interest part is $962.50. So there's their interest from the first payment. Their payment is $1,038.40. Subtracting out the $962.50, we have $75.90 that goes to principal. The amount that they're borrowing. So that goes against the actual balance. Bring it down. Okay. And that's how it is. And over time, this interest part goes smaller and smaller, and the amount going to the balance gets bigger and bigger. Okay. Amortization schedule is a list containing the payment number, payment on the interest, payment on the principal, and balance of the loan. This is usually done on a computer. So this is from the book. So on this loan, on the first payment, and the payment is $1408.11, 7% interest rate. First payment, that's the interest part, principal part, so the balance of the loan goes down a little bit. So it was $211,650, goes down to $211,476. Next one, the interest is a little bit less interest, 2 pennies, no, a little more than $2, $1.02 less in interest. So this goes up a little bit, goes down more than last time. And you see as you get down here to payment $240, the interest is a lot less, like $500 less. More goes to the balance. Boom. And you get down to your last payment, very little interest. Most of it goes to the balance, and you're done. Now, an adjustable rate mortgage usually is between 3 to 3.5% added to the rate of the Treasury bill. So for our last example from this section, the Brett's family purchased a house for $95,000, the down payment of $13,000. They obtained a 30-year adjustable rate mortgage. The terms of the mortgage are as follows. The interest rate is based on a 3-month Treasury bill. The interest rate charged is 3.25% above the Treasury bill on the date of the adjustment. We've seen for years now the Treasury bills have been around 0, 1%, whatever. Interest rate is adjusted every 3 months. Interest will vary. Rate will not change more than 1% up or down when the interest rate is adjusted. The maximum interest rate that can be charged for the duration of the loan is 16%, super high. There's no lower limit on the interest rate. The initial mortgage interest rate is 8.5%. So this adjustable rate can go up, can go down, can go up, can go down. And the monthly payment of interest and principal is adjusted annually. Determine the initial monthly payment for interest and payments. So for A, $95,000 minus the $13,000 down is $82,000. So our P is $82,000. The current rate is 8.5%, which is 0.085. Time is 30 years. I mean, this starting off, it's a 30-year loan, and this is the current rate. So N equals 12 times a year. So our payment is going to be $82,000 times 0.085 over 12 divided by 1 minus quantity 1 plus 0.085 over 12 to the negative of 12 times 30. And that payment comes out to be $630.51. Okay, for B, determine the interest rate in 3 months if the interest rate on the Treasury bill at that time is 5.65. So it'll be 5.65% plus the 3.25% above the Treasury bill. That's going to be 8.9%. So adjust it up from 8.5 to 8.9. And for C, determine the interest in 6 months if the interest rate on the Treasury bill is 4.85. So it's 4.85% plus our 3.25% above the Treasury bill rate is going to be 8.1%. So I'm going to move this up in just a moment and talk about some final things. So feel free to pause. Adjustable rate mortgages, ARMs, also called variable rate mortgages. These mortgages have a start rate, but that rate can adjust up or down each year. There's a cap to the maximum or minimum the rate can become. You have FHA, Federal Housing Agency mortgages. VA mortgages are really good if you've been in the military. A VA mortgage is very good. Graduated payment mortgage, that means your payment will go up over time. Balloon payment mortgage, you want to stay away from these. They'll be low for a long time, but the end be big, and I don't know if they even exist anymore. And home equity loans. That's when you borrow against the equity in your home, and you have to pay that off. Usually the interest is due. That's it for mortgages. So send me your questions. We'll see you online. Bye.